The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
So I saw this on Drudge yesterday, and it just caught my interest here. Wayne Allen Root is a former Libertarian vice presidential nominee, now serves as the chairman of the Libertarian National Campaign Committee. And what's interesting about this, he said he was President Obama's classmate at Columbia University, the class of 1983. He said he's one of the most accurate Vegas odds makers that's out there, and he said he was awarded his own star in a column he writes on the Vegas Walk of Stars. And he goes on to tell the story that he thinks Obama has a big skeleton in his closet. Now, the Democrats keep throwing out these vicious allegations against Governor Romney that he hasn't paid taxes in 10 years and suggesting he may be criminal, may have committed a felony. You have Truth Team members suggesting Romney's a racist. And I just thought it would be, as part of vetting the president, raise this question: where are the college records from the most transparent president in American history? Where are these records? Occidental. How did he get into Harvard, Columbia, all these great schools? And why is it that people don't even remember him there? Where's his thesis? Where are his grades? What are they hiding? What's on his applications? None of this information has gone public. Now, Wayne Allen Root thinks there's a reason for it, and he wrote about it on The Blaze, and he's on our Newsmaker line. How are you?
Hey, Sean, how are you? Great to be with you.
Now, are you voting for Romney as a libertarian? What are you doing this year?
Well, listen, I call myself a Reagan libertarian. I'm a libertarian conservative. My mom and dad were two of the founders of the New York State Conservative Party.
Yeah.
And so I'm a big fan of anyone but Obama. I love Gary Johnson, our libertarian nominee. And I love Mr. Romney. If Mitt Romney wins the election, I hope and pray he wins, because I can't take another 4 years of Obama as a businessman. But if Mitt wins the election, I hope he listens to the counsel of a Ron Paul and a Gary Johnson on economic issues, because I think they've got some great ideas for how you cut spending. And I think we need some major cuts in spending that traditional establishment Republicans probably don't want to do.
Listen, if they get into office and they don't do it, then they won't be there very long, because the nation is crying out for bold leadership. This is not a time for half measures. I mean, if they think they're just going to cut along the margins, then that's not why I'm electing conservatives. That's why I want people like Ted Cruz. That's why I'm glad Lugar's gone in Indiana.
Right. Well, listen, I'm a Tea Partier, and I'm a small businessman, and I'm an entrepreneur. I said Vegas odds maker, but I own my own business doing that, and I own 20 other businesses. And I'm telling you, Sean, it's a bloody battlefield out there. People are not hearing the truth about how bad business really is. It's fallen off a cliff. And I believe that if Obama's reelected, it will be the end of capitalism in this country. And I've never been an exaggerator, a conspiracy theorist, none of that. I'm a straight-talking small businessman, and I'm telling you, things are so bad. People are out of money. There are no deals being done in the United States of America. I think the country's on strike, every businessman and woman, until they find out who's elected on November 6th.
I totally tend to agree with you, but you kind of ducked and dodged my question as a libertarian Reagan conservative, whether or not you're going to vote for Romney or Gary Johnson.
You want to pin me down, and my answer is I love both Mitt Romney and Gary Johnson. Gary's my guy.
Did I ask you if you are going to vote for Gary?
Gary's my guy, and I just hope Mitt listens to him when he's elected president. As an odds maker,
but here's the problem, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. But I like Gary. I don't agree with him on drug legalization, but short of that, I mean, he'd be infinitely better than Obama. I agree with that. But that's like a half a vote for Obama. Let's be honest here.
No, here's what I'd say.
Well, it depends what state you live. You live in Nevada?
Yeah, I live in Nevada.
Your vote matters. Your vote matters a lot.
Here's what I'd say is a fair way as a Reagan libertarian to treat your listeners. If you're in any battleground state and you feel like you've got to vote for Mitt Romney to defeat Obama, God bless you. If you're in a state like Texas or California or New York, no matter what you do, the outcome is decided. Your vote in those states is meaningless, but to vote for Gary Johnson in those states, you know what it means? It's like my parents' old conservative party. You get more power for a third party, the Libertarian Party, that can hold its boot to the neck of a Republican nominee and a Republican Senate.
All right, but you're in, with all, I don't need the lectures here, because you're in one of those states that really matters a lot.
Hey, Hey, listen, I don't need any lectures, Sean, only because I've probably done more to help elect a Romney than any conservative in the country.
But you're not going to vote. But you're not going to vote for him. You said.
Well, I just like a Gary Johnson because I think his record as governor is
all right. So
phenomenal.
then, let me ask you this, because as we're vetting the president, I was very interested. So you graduated the same year Obama did in '83 out of Columbia University. You were
not only same class of '83, Sean, but I was a political science major, which he was. I was pre-law, which he was.
Right. And so you've talked to all of your friends at Columbia, and none of you remember.
Well, not only did I never see him, never meet him, don't remember ever, not only meeting him, never heard of him, never saw him, none of my friends ever met him or heard him or saw him, but on top of that, once this came out, this article, and it's gone viral, I've been everywhere, across the internet and across radio and TV, once all this happened, I've got about 1,000 emails overnight, Sean, and I would say at least a dozen, maybe 15 of them, are from old Columbia classmates who I did not know. Some of them were from my class, '83. Some said I'm from '82 or '84, and they all said the same thing. We've been thinking what you had the guts to say, Wayne. Never saw him, never heard of him, don't know anybody who ever saw him or heard of him. These are total strangers from Columbia that I've never met saying the exact same thing.
All right, so you both graduated, according to Obama, Columbia University class of '83.
Correct.
You were both pre-law and political science majors. You said in your article that you thought you knew most everybody at Columbia, and that you at least would have heard of him, especially if as a fellow political science major. But then Obama, who then I guess was known by his earlier name, Barry Soetoro, you never met him. Nobody you know. You talked about the Wall Street Journal reported in 2008.
Correct.
That they called 400 of your fellow Columbia classmates, not one who ever met Obama. Isn't that odd?
Very odd, considering that almost everyone I went to Columbia with was an extreme, ultra liberal. Many of them were outright Marxist, communist, socialist who said proudly, I hate America, I want to bring the system down. You know, it's funny because I always talk about Cloward Piven, two Columbia professors who left right before Obama and I got there, or Obama and I theoretically got there, and all the students used to talk about it all the time. That was the theory to take down America, that you overwhelm the system with debt, with food stamps, with welfare, with unemployment, with disability. Isn't that exactly what's happening right now?
It's frightening. I mean, look, 15 million more Americans in poverty. We've adopted the welfare state that will guarantee America's bankruptcy. All right, but let me stay focused on this, because we do know we actually aired for the first time the video that came out courtesy of Breitbart.com when he was at Harvard with Professor Derek Bell. So his history is he goes to Occidental, he gets into 2 Ivy League institutions. He said he'd be the most transparent president. He's now running with a hit team out there out of Chicago on the issue that Mitt Romney ought to be releasing his taxes. Debbie Wasserman Schultz wants to go back 20 some odd years. And you're saying, well, if that's the case, release your college records.
Yeah, I'm proposing a trade. I've given Mitt Romney advice. I think that, if I was under attack like this, I would say one of two things. Here's 2 ways out for Mitt Romney. Number one is I will trade. I will give you 10 years of tax returns, and I'll give you everything else in my life, from my marriage certificate to my health records to my business records to my birth certificate, as long as Barack Obama does the exact same thing. I want transparency. I'll give you mine, and I'll show you mine if you show me yours. That's what I would say if I was Mitt Romney, and I'm telling you, I'm promising you, Sean, Obama will back down. That will be the end of it. There's no way he can show you.
Why are you so confident about that?
Because I'm...
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.